Good morning from Melbourne, Australia, and good evening to friends in North America, and hello to anyone watching on replay. My name is Nancy Hetker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. And today I am going to be making a card using one of the brand new online exclusive bundles. This is the Simply Zinnia stamp set with some lovely coordinating dies and a coordinating embossing folder. I guess this is technically a suite because it has all the things. Some beautiful, bright designer series paper. I can't remember if I've shown this to you before. Probably not. It's got great... Look at that. That's going to make some fun, I call them slice and dice cards, just to add a sentiment, maybe a little bit of embellishment. But great patterns front and back. You can see very strongly Zinnia themed on the front and then more neutral patterns on the back. Lots of great bright colors. If you like bright colors, this is it. There is also coordinating glimmer paper, which I've had fun breaking into already. And I didn't pull them out in advance, but there are also, I call them adhesive back shiny sequins that coordinate with it. So there we go. Hello, Roseanne and Gladys. Oh, good, Roseanne. I'm glad you got yours. These have been available for demonstrators to order in the month of February. And as of yesterday, Tuesday, they are available for all customers to order. So they're going to be very fun to play with here, I think, today. So we're going to start. I have a card all planned out. See if it comes out the way I think it's going to. I'm going to start with the embossing folder, and I have a piece of Melon Mambo. Now, you need to pay attention on some of these embossing folders. Usually it's the 6x6 ones to see which way the pattern is actually oriented. You would think it would be this way, but in fact it's sideways. I'm not quite sure why. I'm sure there's some technical reason for it. I find this line that they put here to be really useful to make sure that you get it straight. Some patterns, it matters more than others. This one probably doesn't matter quite as much, but I'm going to get it pretty straight on there. And now I'm going to run this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss over here to the side. Take all the plates off, except for that base plate. That will help it get through. You can hear my table thumping up against the wall here. Okay, let's see how this came out. I haven't used this embossing folder before. Ooh, pretty. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for now. As I was planning out this card, I decided that I wanted to use this big bunch of, I guess it's a small bunch of zinnias, but it's the largest image in the set. And I'm going to color it with Stampin' Blends. And something I often do is I take a scrap piece of paper and I do a little palette to figure out the colors. And I just took the colors that are listed. These are most of the colors that are listed in the designer series paper. The concept artists have done a lot of the work for me. Can totally change up the colors, go much more pastel, but I like these bright colors, so that's what I'm going to go with. So I've got a piece of basic white, and I'm going to stamp that with Memento ink. Remember, when we're using Stampin' Blends to color, they are alcohol ink, and so we want to use a water-based ink to stamp in. You can use any of the classic inks or the Memento. and use the Stampin' Blends. If you're going to be watercoloring, you should use Stays On ink, which is a solvent-based ink, and then it won't run when you color it with the watercolors. I just clean that off because otherwise I will get something in it. And now we're going to do some coloring. So I did actually, this is for my inside panel for the card. This is the big single blossom. So I'm going to color these, I think, about the same way. And you can see how that's going to look against this Melon Mambo. And I think that's going to be pretty cool. So hello, Paula. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to start with some light lemon lime twist for the stems and leaves. We should do a bunch of chatting because this is going to take a while. So I am looking forward to the demonstrator Stampin' Up! Convention called Onstage Live that's coming up next week. I'll probably talk about it next Wednesday too because I'll be really excited. But yeah, starting next Thursday afternoon and evening, I'm gonna start with that one there. Right here in Melbourne, which makes me happy. I'm just adding in, not really random, but I'm just adding in some of the dark lemon lime twist where they've got the extra lines there to add dimension. And I may add a little bit, So one of the things I like about the blends is that you can build up color. So I'm going back in and just adding a bit more of the dark where they've got those shading lines. So I kind of have 3 tones of the lemon lime twist, even though I've only got the 2 shades, the light and the dark. And you can just keep building up as you want. If I wanted to do something a little bit more even, I might bring in some Granny Apple Green, more than the Old Olive or the Mossy Meadow. Those are more dark. It's more of a darker tone of the lemon lime twist, kind of. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Onstage. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of people that I haven't seen since 2019 in person, from the last time we had an in-person Stampin' Up! Event. I'm excited. I've got a team member going with me, which will be fun. introduce her to all the excitement of live Stampin' Up! Events. Get to see all the new product that'll be in. I'm gonna bring this in here, see if I want to add any of this. This is the Granny Apple Green I mentioned. This is the white. Yeah, I might add a little bit of that. But I have to say, at first I was like, oh my goodness, what is this online exclusive thing? Yet one more thing. But one of the things I like about it is that it doesn't have, it's not retiring at a particular time. So that means we have a lot of time to play with it, probably. I'm trying to show you in some better light, maybe, all the dimension that those, using those 3 different markers gives. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in for my flowers. And I'm starting with the Melon Mambo Light. I do usually start with the light colors, although sometimes it's fun to start with the dark and see how you draw it out. But okay, and again, I'm working one flower at a time because when these are still a little wet, it's kind of nice to get them to blend a bit. Okay. Yeah, the sweet, unless you're just somebody who just does not do bright colors, this is really pretty. I've got another card that I made using these more solid dies the other day, and you're gonna have to wait to see it in a blog. I don't actually even have it anymore. It's part of a swap program I've been in for the last several months, and I think it turned out really cool. But I know I've got a customer or two who really like bright colors, and I'm like, ooh, you're gonna love this sweet. I like bright colors too. But I'm always surprised by, I like bright colors, but then I'm always amazed at how much I get drawn to a lot of monochrome and subtles as well. So I just like making cards, all different styles. I've been working on swap cards. I'm not doing any organized swaps, but I am taking swaps, enough swaps for everyone on Kylie's team that's going, because we will do some swapping amongst ourselves. And I'm going to try to have enough to do some other just casual swapping around. It's fun. It's part of the excitement. But I will admit I'm taking it as an opportunity to use up some of my designer series paper that'll be retiring at the end of April, because I don't feel like I have to give away my latest and greatest. Let you in on all my secrets today. Trying to see what's what in here. Okay, get some of the dark in there, and then we can do the centers. It really does make a difference to add the shading. I presume you can see that. Okay, I'm going to add dark lemon lolly to the very centers. If I can kind of pick it out here. And then pumpkin pie, dark pumpkin pie to, I think they're the stamens. Okay, so I'm going to cut this out with the coordinating die, and I will be right back. Okay, I love using Post-it tape for holding down my dies. You can see it's really manky, but that makes it just sticky enough to hold in place without tearing the paper. There's that, and there's that. So now I'm going to work on a sentiment. And I've got a little strip of pumpkin pie here. Pumpkin pie, basically I use colors that are in the designer series paper most of the time, and pumpkin pie hasn't been in there very often recently, so my pumpkin pie is cardstock. I haven't ordered it. I don't think I've ordered it since I moved to Australia. Because I happen to have, from when I bought stuff for Halloween, I happen to have a bunch of 12 by 12 that I've been slowly working through. So this is Sending Flowers and Thinking of You in Versamark on this strip. I'm going to kind of center it there, not because I plan to trim the edges, so I'm not worried about one end or the other. And now I'm going to emboss it in white. You saw I used my embossing buddy so that any oil from my hands or any static that might be on the card stock gets neutralized by the powder that's in the embossing buddy. And now I'm going to heat this up. This may be loud because it's going to go right by the microphone. You can see it start to change. Hopefully that's still working for everybody. Sorry, my phone. Yes, there we go. My phone goes on Do Not Disturb, but it doesn't seem to work on Facebook Messenger. So sorry about that, everyone. Okay, so let's bring in some pieces and see how we're going. So I have a Melon Mambo card base, and I am going to put that inside. You can see these Stampin' Blends, they bleed through. So it's always good to plan to have it as a layer or somewhere where you won't be able to see the back. And then on the front, I am going to glue. I'm going to take a moment and build it up first. Make sure I like everything before I stick things down. But I'm planning to glue that on. And then this is a piece of the designer series paper. It's leaves on one side and these stripes on the other. So I like where we're headed here. Oh, I know, I can't see the comments here. Let's see. There we go. Sorry, I missed your comment, Paula. Yes, Gladys is right. You can demonstrate retired product. They encourage you to only show product that customers can currently buy because they're all about sales. They don't forbid you, and there are no Stampin' Up! Police, I like to say. My theory is I try to focus on currently available product, but I also, from time to time, like to go into my stash and pull things out because I figure most of my customers have stuff in their stash, and to remind people that they can pull stuff out and mix it with new stuff and use a variety of things. So I am just doing some mental thinking about how I want to do all of this. I think I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. And do some trimming down. Okay, so this I'm going to make as wide as the embossed Melon Mambo piece. That's just going to go straight across there, I think. And this one, let's start with that. Trim it down some to start with here. Yep, it needs to be a little bit more. You get to see the nitty-gritty here. But see, I don't want it to cut off there. Really, that's easier than cutting it by hand. I'm just sure it is. There we go. And then this, I'm gonna want it. I don't want a whole lot of that showing. Just enough to give it a little shine. Uh-oh, mine's gone black again. Oh, we're still good. So now the only thing I'm thinking about is whether this stripe is too wide. Okay, we're gonna get this in place. So to stick on glimmer paper, you really need something like tear and tape or Stampin' Seal Plus, which I have trouble with, so I always go for the tear and tape. Because glue will not stick on that glimmer paper, or glitter paper. And then I like to line it up with my grid. And I know I only want probably less than half a centimeter showing. I'm trying to get it straight. That would not be straight. There we go. Other thing I'm pulling out, this is, well, technically it's Parakeet Party, but, you know. That was sloppy. Yeah, I'm thinking no. I'm thinking no on the bow. Okay. Ooh, that's kind of nice too. Can you see the difference? There's the debossed side and the embossed side. I'm going to go with the embossed side on this one. I need to remember that. This likes to curl a bit. You can see it's bubbling up right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it down longer than I usually do. And in fact, I may for a moment here pull in my really big block. I'll let that sit for a moment while I play with this. Trying to figure out what I'm going to pop up and what I'm going to have down. See, that's just enough. It got everything to lay nice and flat. I'm gonna lay this one flat. Let's figure out where. These I'm going to do with some dimensionals. I got some minis to put, because I'm not going to put any there. And the reason I didn't put any there is because I'm going to pop this up. And then I don't have to worry about being on top of that, but because they don't really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't keep these from being popped up. That's what I'm trying to say. But I don't have to worry about the bulk being under there. I do want it to be straight. If I can. Really? My display again went black. Let's see, what else are we going to do here? I was going to pull in some of these and see if they were a nice addition. I love it when they don't stick them down to the backing board. How's that? What do you think? And then inside I've got that one. I think I'm pretty happy with that. These sequins always make me nervous that they're going to pop off. Give them a good push. Okay, that is my project for today. Thank you for joining me. I plan to be back same time, same place next week. I will give you a little heads up. We are right at the point where it seems like we're getting Nicole's new assistance dog, and she is going to have to do some training sessions with the dog. It's about an hour from her place by train. Not quite, but without having the dog with her, she needs someone to go with her. So it could be, and we have to go when the trainer is available. So it could be that I will pop on and say, sorry, can't be here this morning. And that's going to be why. There's nothing wrong. It's just, I have to be elsewhere. So don't want you to worry. And I will be here when I can as scheduled. And I will see you then. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.